Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's nice to have all of you this evening. For those of you that are live and those of you that are watching this in replay. And again, this was sent out as an email that it will be replayed. So if you're live and you want to watch it again, you can do that. If you're watching this as a replay, thanks for joining us. And we're delighted to be able to share this information with you. Just a little bit of background. I'll share a little bit more later, but for me, this whole transition into lifestyle medicine was challenging because there were no resources. And so I was making my way using my own prescription pad. But today it's different. We have technology, we have many experts, and we've developed incredible relationships to bring you resources that can help you take your practice from vision to viability. I'd like to introduce this evening ProNex, which is our partner in helping us help you help your patients make a lifestyle transition. So I'm going to turn it over to Karol Clark, Vice President of Innovation and Strategy at ProNex. And we have Deepa Deshmuka here, who you've probably seen at our conferences. And Deepa is an incredible registered dietitian who I think is one of the leaders in the practical application and delivery of lifestyle medicine into practices. So thanks for being here, both Karol and Deepa. And Karol, I'll let you take it from here.
Thanks, Dr. Stoll. We are so excited to be here as well. I love all things business building and helping to improve the lives of our patients. And we're really glad that all of you are here. We had a great registration, and we couldn't be more thrilled to bring this information to you. And whatever brought you here, we really want you to know that we understand all of us here are entrepreneurs, or we've been involved in small, medium, large size practices, health systems, but we know how the struggles that you can go through. And we know that you're building something very, very special, not just for your patients, but also for yourself. And so we would like to be here to help make that journey a little bit easier and to provide resources and information, and not just theory, but real concrete information to help move you from point A to point B for whatever your particular vision is, because we all have different visions for our practice. So, anyhow, we're going to get right to it. And as we go through here, one of the things that we're always asking is, you ask this of your patients too: what's your why? Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to improve your health? It's the same way with business. We all have to understand our why, because there's going to be bumps along the road. And our job tonight, or what our goal is, to help ease some of those bumps, but also we all have to remember our why, just like our patients, so that we can, when those bumps come up in the road, we can keep continuing to move forward. Tonight's agenda is right in front of you there. We're going to just start with some brief introductions. Dr. Stoll did a great job of doing that initially, who this mini-series is for, what you can expect over the next 6 weeks and beyond, and then talk a little bit about why many practitioners stall before they ever start, and also two traps that can look like progress when it's really not, and the shift that changes everything, that makes everything come sort of together so that you're not frustrated and you can really get where you want to go. And then really a bit about your starting plan. So that's our agenda for tonight. It's a lot in a short period of time. We did put together a group of support team for you. So one of the reasons we were really excited to create this series is because we all know what it's like to feel overwhelmed. Dr. Stoll runs a practice, Deepa does. I have been in practice administration for well over 20 years. I consult with businesses, small practices, people establishing them and growing them all across the US. And I see all the struggles. We all have been there. So the overwhelm can be really very intense. So we want to be here as a support for you. Suzanne, Dr. Stoll, of course, everyone knows him. Is a pillar in the lifestyle medicine arena. He both clinically and also in terms of leadership. Deepa, he already mentioned, is a colleague and friend of mine who is just so entrenched in everything related to nutrition and helping patients understand the pillars of lifestyle medicine and implement them in their lives. And also, we're going to bring in Suzanne, who's going to be doing a little bit about marketing, because we all have to attract patients to our practices in order to exist and thrive. And then Sumit is also going to be with us toward the end of the series for 2 weeks He's going to contribute some information about whether you have a cash pay or an insurance pay or a hybrid model. He'll be talking about billing, collections, coding, insurance, and then also one of my favorite topics, KPIs, and what you need to be measuring to make sure that your practice is viable and that you're getting the results for your patients and for yourself. So we're going to be covering all that. And as Dr. Stoll mentioned, I'm Karol Clark. I actually work with ProNex, and then I also have a consulting business for called Weight Loss Practice Builder. So we're here as your support team, and we also have a couple other special things up our sleeves that we'll get to in a minute. But who this is for? Basically, it's anyone who's practicing lifestyle medicine. So as you know, lifestyle medicine doesn't belong to one title. It belongs to anyone who has that passion to help their patients improve their health through the six pillars of lifestyle medicine. So it belongs to those people that are willing to do the work. And we're going to help try to simplify that. But really, if you're here and you have any one of these titles and anyone who's practicing lifestyle medicine, you're in the right place. And we're really thrilled to have you here. This isn't going to be like a lecture, that sort of thing. Deepa is a great storyteller, but we're going to tell you a story and integrate that throughout this series of Maya, who's a health coach who's establishing a practice, and also Dr. Marcus, who's a physician integrating lifestyle medicine into his practice. And we will you'll probably be able to recognize yourself potentially in one or both of these characters. Because we don't just want to hand you information. We want to walk you through wherever you are tonight to where it is that you want to get to. Our what we're going to be covering, I'll just do this very quickly because you've already seen it in your email, but tonight is about from vision to viability. Then we'll be talking a bit about designing your program, how to attract your ideal clients, how to help your patient get from that first intake, that scary intake that sometimes could be really long, to long-term adherence to what it is you're teaching them, and then scalable revenue models. We all don't have to do everything the same. There's many different ways to have a revenue model that can work for you. Metrics that matter, as I mentioned. And then we're going to put together at the end, Dr. Stoll will be very helpful with this as well, putting it all together, turning possibility into reality, and really building your program so that it's not just, I listened to everything, I did one more course. We really want you to be implementing as we go along the way. So, as an added bonus, Deep and I are going to continue to do monthly office hours, which we're really excited about. We also have some other presentations in mind, which really a number of people have asked about, things like grant writing, fundraising, and one of my favorite topics, how to market without spending a dime. So we're going to talk a bit about organic marketing if you're open to that. So we've got lots in the plan, and we're excited to do that with you. I'm going to
So,
turn it over to Deepa to share a bit about the whole journey. So she's here comes our storyteller.
so, no, thank you all for joining us today. And we decided to structure this series more as a storytelling sessions versus just PowerPoint filled with information. Because what what has brought me and Carol here is because we this was our story. This is exactly how we moved through what we have done in last 18, 20, 25 years. Me as a lifestyle medicine, I got into it within after like 6 weeks of working in patient almost 20 years ago. I didn't even know I was practicing lifestyle medicine until I met Plantrician group in 2015 or so. And that why that happened, what was the starting point for that was the calling. Seeing, just graduating from after doing my boards and starting to working in the hospital, I realized that this standard care or the traditional care no longer was feeling complete. I could see that it was not about just educating people about the nutrition, giving them a handout, and just wishing them all the best. And it was bothering me. And I'm sure this resonates with some of you at least, because you also probably at some point in your life had calling to look beyond your existing working personal and professional situations. And thus the every lifestyle medicine journey begins before the business plan. It begins before the workflow, before the technology, because it begins with the realization that patients need more than advice, and providers need a better way to deliver it, to connect with them, and ultimately to make an impact. And that is where I'm sure your search also began. You heard this, some sixth sense or another voice in your ears, and said, hey, there is a way out of this burnout and running in circle kind of situation when you're dealing with humans and human health. So 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 when it comes to, so every one of us have had our calling, and then you start searching for the next step forward, and that's when the conversation needs to get very real and practical, right? We always tell our patients, hey, find your why. And finding your why when it comes to, what drew you to lifestyle medicine, uh, is easier, right? Because it's like, hey, like one of our character, Maya, health coach Maya, is saying that, well, I went into medicine to prevent disease, not just to treat it. Lifestyle medicine is the closest thing that comes to it, right? Dr. Um Marcus says, why? Obviously, getting into the medicine to do the same thing, but the practice why, right? Which is going to drive both of these individuals, is going to come down to, well, we want to enjoy our practices again and renew the reason why we got into medicine in the first place. Because of that burnt out, because of that burnout, because of that lack of tangible results, outcomes, uh, that's where the why gets stuck. So having a very open conversation, and having that honest conversation, and why knowing your why is going to take some honesty. And later on today, we are going to give you a little bit of homework to do to find your why. Stay tuned. And as the as these two characters are going to move through this journey. Okay, Carol, next slide. Okay. So this calling, this why, gets everyone excited, right? That is what typically happens with most of us. And so we get all excited, and in that excitement we go and get a lifestyle medicine board certification. And then you start Googling how to start lifestyle medicine practice, usually when everybody is sleeping, because that's the only time you have. And what happens is, you have zillion tabs open, and you start looking for how to build website, how to start comparing different tools. Dr. Marcus stumbles upon a conference like Plantrician conference, is super excited about it, comes back home with 3 books and all the uh, all the knowledge in the world. And but then Monday hits, he starts his regular routine, inbox is full, very full day at work. And he in during that chaos, he does try to tell his patient a thing or two about lifestyle medicine. Hey, read this book, watch that movie. And then slowly that dream kind of starts to take a back sit. So if and by the way, this series is not going to be just up for these two individuals, but this is about anybody who works in lifestyle medicine and education. So if you are a member of community organization working at FQSC, or faith-based organization, between me and Carol, we and Dr. Scott, of course, we have enough insights into all these different settings, and we understand the barriers uh, that are in front of us when we are trying to launch lifestyle medicine in any setting. So if all of this sound familiar to you, then I'm going to say you must hang around here and continue to join us for next 5 Thursdays. So when it comes to practitioners like Maya or Dr. Marcus, what happens is it's very easy to get into these traps, we call it, which look like progress. Because what happens is in that excitement, uh, we start researching, we start looking into, oh my God, I have to build a website, I need to invest in a software, and one more thing, I need to do one more thing, I need to one more thing. We call that a DIY spiral, because you're trying to do everything at once on your own, on top of everything else you are doing. And then some people get stuck into the readiness loop. One more webinar, one more course, one more book, one more conference. And I think education is absolutely important. Credentials are important, but the readiness isn't a credential that you require to take the next step. Readiness is a decision. Okay, so as you are, all this information that you are collecting, all this little exercise, you are going to do the DIY spiral, through the DIY spiral trap. Those things are important, but in the moment it looks like you are making a progress, but you are going in circles. So that's why it's important to figure out how to come out of these two traps.
And when you're in those traps, I mean, I know I can relate. Everything kind of hits at once and you can feel really stuck. So you're trying to determine your financial model, and Deepa just went through a lot of different things that you're experiencing. We can go for weeks trying to figure out what EHR do I want to use? What system? How do I do marketing? How many followers do I need? Can I set up my channel? Am I going to take insurance? Am I going to do cash? How am I going to do my billing? What's that going to look like? How am I going to get patients? Do I need a big team? Do I need a small team? Do I need a team at all? Am I going to do it myself? Am I going to hire somebody? Boy, that's going to be expensive. How about my website? All the legal things that go along with this. There's a lot to consider. And so a lot of times you might just ask yourself, am I even ready? And so you end up just getting stuck in this overwhelm spiral, kind of wakes you up at 3 in the morning thinking about all the things that you've got to get done. But honestly, you don't need 5,000 followers. You don't need a lot of the things. You need to have a solid business plan and a way to get from here to there. But really what you need is a short-term plan and a long-term vision. So you just start with one action as you go through there. But what we find is people can get so stuck in this that they really don't move forward at all. And so if you're stuck in that spiral, you're not alone. It happens all the time. And honestly, I work with practitioners all the time like this. And honestly, just getting your first patient so that you can see success, getting your second patient, taking those small steps really can build up into success. And you don't have to have everything figured out from the beginning. I know if you're like me, we can all be a little bit of perfectionists and we think everything has to be perfect before we get started, but it really doesn't. And here's where I really would love, Dr. Stoll, your vast knowledge and experience in terms of getting people past this I feel stuck and how they can move forward and create the impact that they want to make.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Carol. And for all of you that are new, and even if you've been in practice and you're trying to grow your practice, I know how challenging it can be. Especially today with all the different marketing opportunities and technology pieces, you can spend hours, as Carol said, trying to figure out which tool I'm going to use, how I'm going to implement this. But I would just encourage you, start simple. That's what I did. I kept it very simple. And I tried to first form a really meaningful connection with my patient and deliver a small piece of information that was valuable to them, knowing that I would see them back again. And one of the valuable pieces I think that we have today is technology, because we can utilize technology to assist us in delivering information and assisting patients with follow-up in between our visits then takes some of that weight off of us and allows us to be more effective at what we're doing day to day without having to manage some of those details that are a part of, the delivery of lifestyle medicine. When I first got started, I was using my prescription pad to write breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I would call patients, 2 weeks in between. I would follow up with them in 2 to 3 weeks. I would give them recipe manual. I did a lot of just manual work to help my patients. And that's the benefit of where lifestyle medicine and technology have evolved today, that by merging these two things, you can deliver higher quality, more helpful information with support without having to dig in and actually create these tools and resources on your own. And so that's why I wanted to create this series. We wanted to help you navigate some of the challenges, understand the best places to start, and to be exposed to some of the really amazing technology that can assist you.
Yeah. It is amazing how it's changed versus like writing your own things, photocopying, all those sorts of things. Um, so Dr. Stoll, one of the biggest things too that you were talking about was just getting that action and engaging with your first patients and then moving on after that. And the first 90 days of anyone setting up your practice is really about ready, set, action. And no matter whether you're Maya or Dr. Marcus, this part of it is very similar. You end up with like a pre-launch. So we decide we want to have a lifestyle medicine practice or we want to integrate it into our own practice, however it is that you want to deliver it. It's really just doing a pilot, getting your first 5 to 10 patients, getting that real feedback from them, and then refining your offers, launching it, and then you can take your revenue model and scale and succeed. There's so many steps to it, but for both, no matter where you are, there is a similar roadmap that you go through in order to get from point A to point B, whether you're established already or whether you're not. So we do want to make sure that we kind of set this up. And like I say, with each one of these sessions, you're going to have a little bit of homework and we're going to actually walk through all these different steps. So both of these paths are valid. Both of them definitely need a plan, but neither require you to wait until the perfect time to get out there with your patients and to make that impact. So in fact, action is what's going to give you the confidence to continue to move forward. So while those two paths actually are somewhat similar, while the roadmap's similar, the design of the practice can look really very different. I love working with different practitioners who each have their own vision. Some are providing virtual care over multiple states. Some are brick and mortar in one place, making a huge impact in their community. Some have a hybrid of that. It's really amazing. But these two paths are equally valid approaches to however it is that you want. It all depends on what your vision is. So Maya, like on the left, is a full-time lifestyle medicine practice. They're pivoting or they're establishing a new practice. This takes a bit longer. You're dedicating all of your energy to there. So it takes longer to get to that stability. You do have a higher revenue ceiling long term because of how you're structuring things. And it does require early patient acquisition focus. You've got to get patients in the door. You've got to build success stories so that you can have more patients being referred to your practice. And it also requires more infrastructure decisions up front because this is what you're setting up. So Maya's path is a bit more heavy on that end versus if you're integrating it into your existing practice, some of the benefits there are that you have a full panel of established patients, and in all likelihood, most of them could benefit from what it is that you're going to be offering. So it's easier for you to get patients into the lifestyle medicine avenue within your practice. There's lower upfront risk and overhead because you already have things established. You can expand your scope over time and use that existing trust and relationship. So these are two paths, one destination. It's just your design choice, and neither one's right or wrong. It just depends on what's best for you. Um,
Go ahead.
if go ahead, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I was just going to say that the main purpose of kickstarting today's this series and today's first module is all about helping you break that spiral somewhere, breaking that off, because so that you can start taking the action. I have realized over the years that the cost of not taking action is revenue, is your time, energy, which is leading to frustration. So think about whatever you are trying to do, that what is the ROI on your time? Whether you are stuck in the readiness spiral, or whether you are stuck into the DIY spiral.
Yeah, and I was going to say too that some people feel like vision is fluff. It's just, oh, vision's great to have, that sort of thing, but it's kind of but it's never been as easy as it is today to design the practice of your dreams, so to speak. The practice that's going to serve your patients really well and it's going to serve you. You don't have to do, no one has to do anything just like they have experienced in the past. It's your vision, and then it's a matter of setting that plan in place to make it truly viable and something that's going to bring joy to you, but also bring results to your patients and not end up becoming one more situation where you're potentially burned out. Um, so here's the first week. We just finished vision to viability, and we're going to be going next into designing your program. Next week, I know we're a little over on time. We're trying to keep these short and impactful. Then we'll talk, like I say, about attracting your ideal patients, intake to adherence, scalable revenue, and metrics that matter. So that's where we're going to tonight. And in the chat, you'll actually find a link to a little bit of homework, nothing to overwhelm you very much, but it really is how you can actually, if you click on that link, you just make a copy of that document and you can actually use that to go ahead and complete your homework. And we can go through that a little bit next week. Every one of these is going to build on the next one. So that would be really helpful. Just answer the prompts in there about your whys. And after you download it, it'll walk you right through exactly what to do.
Yeah, the homework will also help you come over any inertia you may have. So it's important that you just take 5 minutes and finish that little homework and show up for the next series.
Yeah. So tonight was the beginning. The next one is chapter 2, stuck to start designing your program. And we're also going to be excited to get some feedback from all of you. So we'd like to have this a little bit more interactive. This time we were doing a few other things, but we're excited to have you here and we're excited to continue the journey with you.
And for those of you that may have joined a little later or missed some of the early part of this presentation, we will be sending out a link with the replay so you can go back through this and pick up anything that you missed.
Phenomenal.
If anybody had a question, you can just put your camera on and raise your hand, and we're happy to take a question or two as we wrap up this evening. And if not, that's quite okay too.
You can always send us the questions, which we will answer it during our next episode.
Yeah, and we have our emails there. But if somebody does anyone have their hand up? Do you want to?
Okay. Well, we promised everybody short and sweet session.
And we will deliver.
Yeah, we're excited. So very good.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be back again next Thursday, same time, same bat station, for more great information. And again, it will be myself, Karol, and Deepa. If you have any questions, please let us know in between. We're here for you. And again, watch for that link for the replay. But we're really excited. This is one of the things that Plantrician Project is working on in partnership with ProNex, is to help people take action on their passion. And one of the most important ways to do that is to be able to step in with a meaningful plan to deliver lifestyle medicine to your patients in a way that, as Deepa so elegantly said, maintains the joy for both you and your patients.
Yep.
Okay.
Very good. Hi, Kate.
Thank you all.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you
Thanks,
next week.
everyone. See you
Bye.
next week. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.